we're seeing a lot of conflicting reports right now that Saudi Arabia is pulling out of their landmark deal, the Petro Dollar, the guarantee that all oil sales will be settled in U.S. dollars. And this is going to put the U.S. dollar's, status as a global reserve currency at risk. This is a sign of imminent collapse. Then we're seeing other reports saying this news is fake. It's fake news. Don't pay any attention to it. Nothing going on. Of course, the truth is typically somewhere in between. I'll tell you this, what's going on with Saudi Arabia. It's not a critique on the U.S. dollar or even the U.S. economy, even though there are plenty of problems there. They'll take U.S. dollars all day long. But when we look at the landscape of oil production right now, United States #1 in the world, Canada #4, Mexico, I don't know, what are they, about 10 or 11, somewhere in that range. We got plenty of oil production in the northern hemisphere. Now, it wasn't always like that in the past. We were absolutely reliant on Saudi Arabia for our energy. And that meant also waging wars and, everything, our whole economy. We would defend Saudi Arabia quicker than we would New York City. Best believe that. But times have changed to some degree. And now Saudi Arabia is sitting there saying, if we have a regional conflict, it's going to happen at some point in time. Who's going to come to our aid? Is it going to be China? Should they partner with them more closely? Japan? You name it. There's a lot of people on the table. You could listen to some of the experts to try to figure out who will be the next big partner with Saudi Arabia. Won't be the United States. They're not going to guarantee this kind of one-sided deal any longer. They're not going to do that for our benefit when they're not really getting what they need from us. We're not their biggest customer any longer. And, we're not going to likely guarantee their safety like we did in the past. We're pulling a lot of military out of that region. It's just not what it used to be. And so it makes sense for them to go out and build new partnerships. It's my opinion. I think that's all they're doing here. And so does this threaten the dollar dominance? Does this an indicator that the U.S. dollar may be on the way down? Well, it could be to some extent, even though Saudi Arabia is not doing this because they have a problem with U.S. dollars. It gives rise and it gives an opening for a lot of other people to have success and other financial systems and groups to rise up and jump in here and play a bigger role. And we know BRICS is on the rise, and now it's BRICS Plus. This very well could be a more advantageous partnership for them if they could find the right partners here to make this work. So I'll tell you this right now today, is it fake news that it's going to be some imminent collapse of the U.S. dollar? Yeah, doesn't mean that at all. Saudi Arabia will settle plenty of oil deals in U.S. dollars, probably most of them, to be honest with you. But could this be an indicator of changes on the horizon and problems for the U.S. dollar and the U.S. economy in the future? Well, of course. We're going through a period of drastic change. And, this is just one of those indicators. So, again, the truth is somewhere probably in between those drastic headlines of this is just fake news and this is the end of the U.S. dollar. Again, it's somewhere in the middle. It's neither of those two extremes, but it's also not, nothing. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.